Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on today's stream, where we help educate business owners on what to expect of their IT support. That could be internal IT support or some other company besides us, but just trying to help educate the business owners and community. And our topic today is how to know you have outgrown your IT support. I think this is a big topic item for a lot of people, and it's really going to help bring some things to light here. Today we have Kevin Peterson as our guest with Peterson. My mind's going blank, Kevin. I'll let you introduce
Sure.
yourself. That's a little better.
You bet, Chris. I'm Kevin Peterson, the CEO of Peterson Tech Group from Madison, Wisconsin. We are a managed IT company specializing in 24/7, 365 support. We do our services with truly flat rate, and we try and be our clients' fully IT department instead of just an outsourced IT guy or gal.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so with our topic today, I know, Kevin, you and me were chatting here a little while ago, and you had a kind of cool story. I thought it'd be great for you to kind of start with, if you don't mind sharing that.
Of course. Well, it's unfortunately an appropriate story. It's very appropriate to the conversation we're having about how to know when you've outgrown your support. So we were contacted by a construction company. They are big in the Madison, Wisconsin area, and they also have one remote office down south. And their current IT provider will only come on site after hours, so after 5 or 6 p.m. During the week. And the reason has nothing to do with the client. The reason is all about the provider, and the reason is they don't have time during the day to deal with client issues. They're dealing with projects or as they phrased it, more important items than coming on site. And so Dan was calling, obviously very frustrated with the relationship that they didn't have with the current provider, and that's why they're looking at making the switch to hopefully us from a business perspective.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the items I see quite a bit when you've outgrown your IT is, in IT technology, sometimes you can't always prevent a problem. And if something happens to your email and, you're trying to get ready for business, it can halt all that productivity, and it can't really wait until after hours.
Exactly. And so, yeah, the first, in my mind, one of the first things as far as how do you know you've outgrown your IT support is that if your needs are scheduled around their schedule instead of your schedule. And there's never
Right.
100%. Things happen, but it's more a matter of if that's the norm. If, well, we can't help you now, we'll be there at 5:30 and you'll be gone, so we'll do our best. But really, it's taken too long to respond to support requests and not scheduling around your needs as much as possible.
Yeah, I think that also kind of goes to, if you see an IT company that's even taking days, to get to you. That's one I hear quite a bit around here from some of our, competitors. And it's, yeah, we put in the request on Monday and it's Wednesday now and they're finally showing up.
I don't understand that. Even if you can't show up, let's just say everyone is sick or on vacation, whatever, at least
Right.
communicate. The clients, it's like people are people. They just want to know the truth. So if you're bogged down, I'm sorry, we have clients down, whatever the reason, we'll be on site Wednesday. I'm very sorry. We will also work to fix this issue. But for you not to respond for 48 hours, that's
Hmm.
horrible.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's not like the every request is an urgent request. It might be okay that it's done several days later, maybe even
Sure.
preferred. But yeah, like you said, it's a great point to, have that communication.
Yes,
When the email's received, start communicating, about scheduling or, urgency.
exactly.
Um, yeah. But yeah, that kind of goes in also with the after hours as well. So if there's an after hour request that comes in, that's usually more tied to an urgency. It's can't wait till the next day. And I know you and me both have the 24/7 support, which is quite important for different companies.
It is, even for companies that say they're not 24/7, more and more there's with flex work schedules that all happen because of people working from home because of COVID. So even normal staff, well, they may not be working the normal 8 by 5. They may work, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m., then spend the day with their kids, and then after they go to bed, finish their day. Well, that's a normal day, and if your IT support is only open from 8 to 5, you can never help them unless they put in overtime. There's always business owners, managers who work late. There's deadlines. If project managers or busy seasons, whether it's landscaping, whether it's accounting, other service, legal, there's always deadlines where people have to work different hours, and 8 by 5 doesn't cut it anymore.
Right. Yeah. Another thing that we started kind of coming across as well is some of our clients are in different time zones, or they have branch offices that are international. And
Yep,
so having 24/7 support can be support when you need it, no matter the time zone.
exactly. And that's about
Yeah.
that relationship that we've talked about. It's having an IT provider is not a technical decision. It's a business decision. Same
Mhm.
as hiring an accountant, same as hiring an attorney, your financial planner, your business coach, things like that. Those are all business relationships. And so is who's going to provide your technology support and consulting, so, to an extent that project management, the overall direction, that's a business relationship. They have to understand your goals, your needs, as well as understand your technology and the security behind them.
Yeah, for sure. Well said. One item too that I've come across that I kind of made some notes on, and sometimes you hear this from the customer, bring it to you as an issue, and then sometimes when you start onboarding, you find out about it. But it's I a lot of IT companies will say they have monitoring, health monitoring. They're monitoring your backups, monitoring your server if it goes down or whatnot. And then you discover along the way by the business owner or next IT is that, yeah, it looks like those were configured to be sent, but nothing was ever done. Backups haven't ran successfully in a month or more, but nothing was done about it. So yeah, they're getting those alerts, but it's not really being monitored correctly.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know the last time when I've gotten a response. So I like to ask, prospective clients, are you sure your email, your network, your data is backed up? I almost always get a yes, it is, or I think
Yeah,
so.
it's expected.
Of course. I then ask,
Yeah.
are you sure? And when was the last time it was tested? I can't remember the last time I've ever gotten a warm fuzzy that, yes, I'm sure.
Hmm.
And I can't remember ever getting a response that's ever been tested, from doing whether it's a full backup disaster recovery plan or just simply trying to do a test restore of an email or a file or a user.
Hmm.
No prospective client has ever told me we are sure that we can recover.
Right, right. Yeah, it's usually, I mean, yeah, I asked the same thing or similar. It's, yeah, do you have these protections in place? Yes. Well, tell me how you know. And it's, well, there are IT. Have
They
you seen any
assume.
proof of that?
Exactly. They
Yeah.
assume, and it's like sticking your head in the sand. You don't want to know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of sad because if I wasn't in the IT industry and just a business person, and you hire an IT company, it's just something you expect. It's being taken care of for me, but it's just so common that it's not the case.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another one is antivirus. Doing onboarding and you see a list of threats that were detected and no one addressed it.
Yep. We were onboarding a new client yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I happened to be on site, and um, they on the front screen of all of their Windows 10 machines, it was showing their antivirus with a big this is expired.
Oh no.
On all of them, and that's the only security measure they had. They had
Mm.
no other security software beyond an out-of-date antivirus on all of their machines, and this is in a PCI compliant industry.
Mm.
So they are out of compliance, but it's very simple on how to fix those issues.
Yeah, it's very easy to be proactive on that. It
Yes.
doesn't take a whole lot of effort really,
Right.
for that particular item. But yeah, and this is stuff like you and me. We do the QBRs, and if we see something coming up to expire, it's a great time to be touching base with clients and bringing that up, planning it out, budgeting for it. But yeah, it's just overlooked so much.
You're right, and yeah, it's you call them QBRs, I call them business technology reviews. It's the same thing. It's going through the business goals and needs of your client and how technology supports that. And it really is, that's where you need the good business relationship. It's not about being that great tech guy or tech gal. It's about a business relationship and understanding what's important to a business. Finances are one big part of that, but that's not the only part of it. Technical acumen is one part of it as well. Things like security posturing, risk, confidentiality, industry, compliance. All those things need to be addressed and discussed, and a lot of them are not quick fixes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the discussion part really, again, the QBRs are technology reviews. Yeah, just bringing those up and talking about it. I've won new clients before, who the previous or existing, I guess, IT, they're a good company. I know they have good techs, good people there. They try to do well. But one of the main differences between what they were doing and what we were talking about is those QBRs. And you can be working with a great IT company, but if you don't communicate, start having more and more and more problems.
Exactly. It's the business model. It's all about the business model of the IT company and the relationship you have with the owner, COO, CFO, depending on who the main point of contacts are. It's all about that relationship and the business model your IT company has.
Right. Yeah. And something with IT, you're paying this money for this to be done. At least take half an hour, 15 minutes, an hour every 3 months, or whatever, just to touch base.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like it takes a lot of time.
Exactly.
I have another item that I made a note of. Unless you had some more to add.
Go for it. Go ahead.
Okay. On projects, scheduling projects out. So, one thing that we do is we do a whole onboarding process initially. We want to document and discover, see what's there. So you have to know what's there before you can plan ahead on what needs to be changed or added or improved, whatever. And so a lot of that is projects. Okay, this server is 11 years old. It really needs to be replaced. Or you're on this email system when, you should be over here, whatever. But these different projects that take a large chunk of time, sometimes, you see, oh yeah, that's been on the list to do for the past 3 years. And it's just not being done. I don't know if you ran into something similar.
All the time, and that's a big frustration for clients and prospective clients, is things aren't getting done. They're not keeping their word, if you will, as far as saying, yeah, we will migrate you if it's migrating from an on-prem email server to Office 365 or something like that, or upgrading that 11-year-old server you mentioned. What you need to do is be upfront with your client. We've onboarded you, we've done our eval, we've started supporting you. Here are your issues. Here are some potential solutions to those issues, and here's some estimated costs. Let's start going through them and prioritizing. most companies cannot do all of those projects immediately for a couple of reasons. One, it costs a lot of money at times. Now, sometimes it doesn't, but there may be either hardware, software, licensing. It also takes time. Yes, we have the time, you have the time, but they also just need to run their operations in their company. So we need to figure out how much time they need to invest. And then you figure out, how long is the project going to take, and you manage to that as far as what the deliverables, what the expectations are, what the risks are, and then you be a man of your word and you get it done.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes there's a certain order to it as well. You're trying to accomplish this end, I don't know, goal or item, but when your discovery and evaluation, you find that, okay, well, before that's done, we got to do this and this first. But knowing that, I guess, up front is a must. But yeah, then kind of planning it out and setting your timelines, and
Yep.
a lot of this comes back to keeping communication.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. One other item, my last item that I had, has to do with repeat issues. So, like our first item, say the IT company is quick to respond. You have a printer problem, let's just say, or email. And they come and then they fix it. But then in 2 weeks or another month, you have that same problem. They're quick to come back and they fix it and they leave again. And it's just this repeat of these same common problems that, they're not digging and finding root cause. They're not taking the time that they should because they're too busy, perhaps. But you keep having these repeat occurring problems on something that could just be prevented.
Exactly. Prevented or fixed correctly the first time. I'll go back to that conversation I had with Dan, the COO of the construction company here in Wisconsin. So their issue with the current provider coming in after 5 p.m. And trying to fix problems is they'll fix it, but they can't validate it because the users are not around. So if you're talking a printing issue, well, the user hasn't been able to test printing. So frequently the issue is that, yeah, they've come on site and they say they fixed it. Well, the user hasn't validated they fixed it. And so they have to come on site multiple times. And it's frustrating to the users because the users should be doing different items and actually bringing in money for the construction company versus wasting their time on repeat IT issues. But that's a giant thing you brought up, Chris, that a lot of small, medium businesses and nonprofits are struggle with their IT providers is the same issue keeps happening all the time, and there's no explanation why. And
Right.
there's no long-term fix.
Yeah, and then you have all that loss of productivity and aggravation. That's kind
Yes,
of what it builds up to be.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and some, like what you said is also kind of, it makes a lot of sense because say a printer, there's different almost layers to printing. Is it a physical printer problem? Is it a network or connection problem? Is it an application problem? So if they're not there to work with the user and they come in and fix it, they're like, oh yeah, I see there's a connection physical problem on the printer. Got it fixed. But yet then the next day starts, the staff come in and they still can't print because there's also an application side issue.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. And all these points really come down to it's that relationship. And for a solid IT provider to care enough and have that relationship with the clients that they care and their staff cares about fixing the issues and letting our clients get the most ROI out of their technology. So it's actually bringing in money versus, as you mentioned, that drain, of time and money.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Um, do you have any last comments or anything? I think what you just said kind of really sums it up.
Yeah, it's relationship. It's a relationship whether you don't know what you're paying for. That's because someone didn't explain it to you. You mentioned the downtime. Well, that's the relationship and not caring if it's frequent downtime. The scheduling of the support, that's the business model and relationship. So in my mind, it all comes down to those two things. What's the IT company's business model, and how's the relationship with you? Everything can be solved if they have the right relationship and the right business model.
Mhm.
Because yes, the downtime will go away. The alerting will be part of the contract, and you'll see in those business technology reviews, you'll see the backups, you'll see the test restores, you'll see the security items, you'll talk compliancy, and the details will start going away that are missed. And so you can actually work on future as far as growth, expansion, and how technology can enable that versus technology just be a time suck. Yeah, it's that relationship and business model.
Yeah, absolutely. It all fits in together.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, I appreciate you coming on as a guest with me to go over this, and hope to have you again.
Anytime you want.
Yeah. One last thing I wanted to just offer to everybody is an ebook that we built together. This is very common 11 items that when we have taken over IT for a new client, we've seen that these items just were ignored or not addressed, and they're critical items that need to be addressed. And I'm talking about that they were never addressed by the previous IT. And so this is a really great talking point, with your existing IT, outsourced IT, or your existing internal IT. But you can just have a discussion with them and bring up these points and just say, hey, are we doing this and this and this? Very non-technical, but again, we're trying to just help educate business owners on what to expect from their IT.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great guide, and you do not have to be a client of WOLFGUARD or Peterson Technology to use it. It will give you, the questions that you should ask your internal staff or your outsourced IT, and just make sure that you are doing what's needed for your company.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks again, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yep. And everyone take care and be safe.
Have a great day.
Thank you.